Spellbreak can be a really big game for newcomers. Rather than relying on the traditional Battle Royale formula that players are used to, Spellbreak features RPG-inspired mechanics. Everything about this game is different. You begin the game by choosing a character class, then you have to load up with gauntlets and runes, rather than guns and ammo. Since there is so much to learn, you're going to need to know these Spellbreak tips and tricks to start winning games even early on. Our beginner's guide covers the introduction to the game, the mechanics and workings that a tutorial won't tell you. However, this doesn't nearly cover everything. The game can get pretty complicated with all of the stats and gear stacked on top of each other. The map in Spellbreak isn't the most crowded at the moment, but there is still a lot going on in the game. Getting better at Spellbreak has to come with a deeper understanding of how to use the game's tools. You need to runes for mobility, gauntlets to combine during fights and shake things up, and skill points to develop your abilities further. These tips and tricks will help you learn the more intricate workings of the game to really master Spellbreak. Looting tips and tricks. These tips and tricks for Spellbound will help you get the most out of the items that you loot. Looting works a little differently here. You need to know what you're looking for to get the most out of the early stages of the game. There are a lot of items out there. This can make it difficult to find the specific ones that you need. So, if you want to make the most out of whatever you find, you need to be skilled at different things. Choose a class that gives you a lot of initial possibilities and one gauntlet that you're skilled with. Play with all the items in the game and practice and get to know them. Every time you reach a safe zone, you get an upgrade on your character class's skill. Skill points are really important. Each level gives you a big bonus to how you interact in the game. This is a major advantage that you should get as soon as possible. Even if you're not rotating to the safe zone just yet, dropping in to improve your level first is a good idea. Items are absolutely everywhere. This can sometimes make it difficult to find the exact item you're trying to pick up. When looting, you can open up your inventory. This gives you a list of all of the items around and lets you easily pick out which one you want to pick up. These Spellbreak tips and tricks can make looting a lot quicker. Potions and effects. When you're first playing Spellbreak, the gauntlets and magic are the first things that grab your attention. However, you should pay attention to the other items. Potions can be really helpful for helping you survive, and they have some unique mechanics. These Spellbreak tips and tricks will help you get the most out of potions. While your inventory screen is open for loot, the new items are sorted for you. They are organized by rarity, aside from potions. Potions are always on the top of the list. Unlike the potions, healing items in Fortnite or PUBG, Spellbreak's potions aren't instant. After you've used a potion, the effects will gradually happen rather than all at once. This means you'll be waiting a while to recover all of your health. While the effects of potions take a while, they do stack. If you drink a few potions in succession, your healing will continue for quite a while. You can exploit this by drinking a few potions before heading into a firefight or a dangerous area. If you've timed it right, you will continue to heal even as you take damage. By doing this, you can cross a dangerous area with some protection or heal even during a firefight. This can give you a real advantage. Each potion takes a different length of time to have its full effect. Small portions are quickest and big potions are slowest. You can use an armor potion or a health potion. Armor is going to give you extra security. It's important to try to max out both where possible. Only that will give you a full defense. Gauntlet tips and tricks. These Spellbreak tips and tricks dealing with the main event, gauntlets. Gauntlets are the items that give you magic powers to fight other players. Each is linked to a certain element and will take some time for you to master. These Spellbreak tips and tricks will help you take advantage of other players with your gauntlets. Gauntlet effects can be combined. This works with your two gauntlets, but it also works with those of your teammates. Your attacks will combine with any others on the battlefield. With a squad of 4 players, coordinating your attacks can give you access to pretty much every combination. This really makes your team dangerous. While your team can deal a lot of damage this way, you can also inflict a lot. Friendly fire is turned on and it is a big worry. When using AoE attacks, this can be lethal. Be careful with sending out spells too close to your teammates, it can end very badly. Your mana is a much more precarious resource than you would initially think. It can run out quickly when you're combining spells. You should preserve it and be careful not to spam too much. It takes some time to recharge your mana, and you don't want to be caught short. Between friendly fire, unwanted effects, and slow recharging, Spellbreak isn't a game that rewards spamming attacks. The rarer the gauntlet, the more damage it deals. They go from the weakest, gray, to the strongest, gold. However, the jumps in power are not the same. Each power difference gets smaller the better the gauntlet is. The difference from gray to green is much bigger than purple to gold. Gauntlet combo tips and tricks. Gauntlet combos don't just work offensively. Some of them actually have an effect that cancels each other out. You can use some combos to destroy existing AoE effects. Like a flame wall being put out in portions to let you get through it. These neutering effects can ruin your teammates' attacks. So you need a good knowledge of how they interact to avoid this. Try to pick up gauntlets that match the gauntlets of your class. You can't change that one, so take advantage of combos in what you pick up. You can use gauntlet combos to deal with any shortcomings in you or your team's abilities. If someone is better at the exact aim, they should go for ice. Although, they can be called in to help out a toxicologist player who is better at AoE attacks. Mobility. Spellbreak is a game that rewards players who stay mobile. This includes traveling around the map and making use of the verticality of the map. Many runes will help you move around easier, but there are some basic spellbreak tips and tricks that can help too. Some gauntlets have defensive and mobility related uses. If you fire the wind gauntlet's primary attack directly into the ground, you'll be launched up in a gust of wind. This helps you take the high ground. You get a double jump. Spellbreak is much more vertically playable than other battle royales. You can exploit these jumping mechanics by using them to take the high ground. While you're floating downwards from either a wind gauntlet move or a double jump, aiming an attack will slow down your fall. This can be helpful for keeping you in the air or taking advantage of your position for a clearer shot. You have limited mana when you're gliding. Try not to run out since it also limits your ability to get used out of your gauntlets. The majority of the runes will help you out in a hurry. Feel free to fire off a rune whenever you're overwhelmed under fire. Most of them will at least work as a panic button. They have uses beyond panic though. You can also throw one out just before a firefight to take a unique angle. If you have power-ups to improve your mana, the glide down could secure you an easy kill. Grab any rune before fussing over your preferred one. That panic button can save you if you're ambushed before looting up. Combat, exiling, and map tips and tricks. The map for Spellbreak isn't crowded at the moment. With big AoE attacks, a lot of the space blends together. Try to keep track of the minimap to keep your bearings and get to the circle in time. Getting to the safe area gives you a boost in your abilities from your class. Get to the circle as soon as possible if you're trying to power up a little bit more. Third-partying other players is one of the best ways to get kills. It might not be a proud way to fight, but it gets results. If you see two players fighting, then take a good angle and take them out. With abilities flying around in firefights, you should be able to throw something in there and cause a friendly fire on the two of them. You're not exiled until your orb is physically banished. So try to keep teammates close enough to grab you if you get knocked down. Exiling works both ways, so make sure to remove any orb after you knock a player down. These spellbreak tips and tricks should help you start winning more games. However, you also need to optimize your settings. Our guide will run you through having the best setup that you possibly can for Spellbreak.